Ade Pets NG with this beautiful owl. You guys can see it on my Instagram page, is all there and that. I want to ask you a question. Would you keep an owl as a pet? Tastebuds is looking at the owl now. I want to bring that owl home. Tastebuds, don't give me riot act. The owl is beautiful, have you? Very beautiful. So we allow us to keep it. We'll be feeding it meat. It eats meat now. No, I'll be buying the meat for the owl. I'll be putting it in the fridge. No, the owl will just be flying inside the house now. I won't lock it inside cage. The neighbors, is better so that they will not come and visit us and eat our food. And if they see owl, what is now going to happen? That's the part to let them not come and. So, let me ask all of you. Tastebuds is discouraging me from getting the owl. Hey, Simply Vic said he has 2 parrots. Tastebuds too has 1, me. I remember one day I went to buy a toy parrot. I now put it on my Instagram page. Someone now commented on that. I said the parrot now owns his own parrot. Maybe. That thing pained me, I will not lie. So, would you keep an owl as a pet? Today we are just gisting, nothing major. All the Aproko people have come here. They have left their work. Some have been sacked as I'm even talking to you. Owl is a no. I have pigeons. Remember those pigeons that featured in my Pigeons Refuse to Fly video? They're all my personal pigeons. How many pigeons do we have, babes? Like 20? And they all fly. They all fly. So, tell me, would you like to keep an owl as a pet? I'm going to be inviting you guys on one by one. And you guys tell me what you think. Is it a bad pet? Hello?
Hello.
Someone cute. Where are you from? Or where are you now?
Okay, I'm currently in Romania, Bucharest.
No, be serious.
Yeah.
Show me your window.
Okay, it's dark already. But
Just show me. I know Romania. If I see Romania, I know Romania. I've been there before.
Okay, alright.
What are you doing in Bucharest, if I may ask you?
And so this is my view.
All I can see is owl. I'm joking. Do you speak Romanian?
No. I'm originally in France, but I came here for my Erasmus.
What was that?
It's a sort of student exchange program.
Oh.
So you get to travel to different European countries, to
My
further
mother
immerse
is
in their
Romanian.
culture. So really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I should visit her village sometime.
Yes, her village is far from Bucharest. It's not a village, it's actually a nice city. It's called Cluj.
I'll go. Like, I really want to tour. Like, I think I'll go. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. So we're talking about pets. Would you keep an owl as a pet?
These days, coming over to Europe, I'm learning that the problem we have in Nigeria when it comes to animal is branding. And these people make me love to keep animals. Before, I had this spiritual thing about owls, cats, some of these things. But when you come here and you see them interacting with these animals, you're like, is it not the same species of animals?
If you kill owl where you are, you enter trouble. All those animals are considered endangered. Igbo people don't joke with they don't joke with their animals at all. They respect their animals. Oh, so very lovely. What are you studying? What are you studying in France?
Okay, in France, I'm studying cultural management. So it's, they love their culture so much. So they started this program. It's I think we are the second. I'm in the second set of for this program. So they started this program so that you learn how to initiate and create a European cultural project. So you are also able to seek for funds for this project from an organization called Creative Europe. So the essence of this is for you to create projects that is going to bring together all the countries in the European Union. So some parts of Europe, like Bucharest, they are considered as people who are not really into culture and all this stuff. So those in France, the western side wants to immerse, just to exchange culture, and I don't know how to really explain it. But that's the reason why I'm on Erasmus, because then I get to go to some parts of Europe and do some projects with them.
Yeah. And do you have to pay, or they pay for you for your trips? Do you have to pay?
Funny enough, when I was coming here, I didn't know that I was going to get some grants. I prepared, my finances and everything and came. But after I came here, there are things like Erasmus grants, mobility grants, all those stuff, just to help your movement. But now coming from Nigeria, those monies are like, it's more than everything I spent. Actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah, really.
So tell me, how much did you get in Erasmus grant? Let me come and start applying for Erasmus grants now. No. And we are not even talking about OWL again. We are not even talking about Dodike again. We are not talking about Vindicated again. Tell me about this Erasmus. Now, this is Erasmus time.
Erasmus is more like what we do with NYSC.
I don't want to know what it is. How much do they pay you? Then we'll start knowing what it is later.
Sometimes it's from 1,200 euros, depending on your movements, up. Yeah.
1,200 euros up. 1,000 euro, 550,000 naira. 200 euro.
That is more than
110. Eh? How much is euro now?
550 euro.
How much is
euro?
euro?
Change was 575.
Okay, 575 plus 57.5 times 2. That is over 700,000.
Yeah.
And then you be relaxing and traveling from country to country, checking out their culture and be Erasmusing. Just watch. Before we finish this show today, like 50 people have started Erasmus on their own in this Nigeria. All right, my darling sister, thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful, and enjoy Bucharest.
I will, sir.
Oh, such a sweet sister. I like that. Culture management. As in, there are courses in this life. When we're growing up, you tell my father you want to read this kind of course. The eye, he will look at you. You will go and change your JAMB from back to medicine. And then stay at home for 4 years because you cannot pass. Then manage and enter English and education. I remember when my father's friend's daughter said she gained admission to a university in Russia to study food technology. This is how all of us, including me, was looking at her. Food technology. To me, it sounded like you wanted to go and study food and nutrition. What's that? Home science. I thought food technology was advanced home science. Family living. I mean, what was those silly courses we used to study back in the day? So we didn't know. Now we know that there are courses. Those days, they tell you if you're not a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, then you can manage and be a pharmacist, manage new. After that pharmacy that you are managing and doing, an accounting tool that you're managing and doing, everything else will do. I went to school, home economics, thank you very much. I went to school, to university to study sociology. Sometimes people ask me, are you in university? I say I'm doing JAMB. Because it's hard to tell them I'm studying sociology so they will not abuse you. It's even easier for them to say, oh, you're doing JAMB, God will bless the reward. Go and bring your pen that you're going to use to write the JAMB. They will pray over the pen. This I'll be looking at them. Me, I was in 300 level doing sociology. I was just looking at them. They were praying for me to pass JAMB. Me too, I'll say amen, Abi. They will even be seeing vision for my JAMB. All right, so can you keep an owl as a pet? Who's coming up next? Can you keep an owl as a pet? Dami Kati said, my sister was in your class. Really? My class? Hey. Eve, were you in my class too? Okay. Now, let me talk about something real quick. You see, the animal being good or bad depends on what part of the Bible you're looking at. I'll give you an example. If you read the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord had made. One day he asked the woman, did God really say you must not eat from the fruit of any of the trees in the garden? You know how the story went. And then if you go down a little further in that same chapter, if you read verse, I think about 12 or 13. Okay, the Lord said to the woman, what have you done? The serpent deceived me. The woman said, that is why I ate it. So if you go to about 14, the Lord now said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all animals, domestic and wild. You will crawl on your belly, groveling in the dust as long as you live. So if you look at this definition for a serpent or a snake, you will automatically think the snakes are bad. But hey, let's look somewhere else. Go to Numbers chapter 21, verse 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, make a replica of a poisonous snake and attach it to a pole. All who are bitten will live if they simply look at it. So Moses made a snake out of bronze and attached it to a pole. Then anyone who was bitten by a snake looked at the bronze snake and was healed. So, this is Numbers chapter 21, verse 8 and verse 9. Also take a look at the word seraphim. Seraphim meaning, what does the Hebrew word seraphim mean? Well, it's from the word seraph, an angelic being regarded in traditional Christian angelology as belonging to the highest order of ninefold celestial hierarchy associated with light, order, and purity. But where is the name? Where does it originate from? Where does the word seraph come from? Well, seraph means the burning one or the burning serpent, according to Hebrew. So you could check seraph origin. So that will help define what it means. So it comes from the word fiery serpent. So you look at snakes, you look at the word serpent, And you realize that many people don't realize that snakes are actually a very important part of the ecosystem. Without snakes or wolves or all these predators, the ecosystem will actually die out. And I can give you the example of Yellowstone Park, where the wolves were removed because the wolves were hunting the deer, and then they were like, no, these wolves are wicked, let's remove the wolves. And they removed the wolves. Within a short period, even their river dried up. What happened was, the wolves were keeping the population of deer balanced. But the moment the deers became overpopulated because nothing was hunting them, they literally stripped the vegetation bare, almost turned the place into a desert. And then, because the trees were now being removed, they couldn't hold the river banks together. And that way, the river dried up. There's actually movies and documentaries about it. There are even books about it. Just read about the wolves of Yellowstone. So, do you know that they had to go and get wolves and introduce them back into Yellowstone? So sometimes a lot of people don't understand how ecosystems work. A lot of people just see some certain animals as possessed. A lot of people have been fed all sorts of lies from people who are ignorant, who have been robbed of the truth. And you tend to believe these people when they tell you an owl is a possessed bird. In Nigeria, with the kind of government we have, you don't need a possessed bird when you have this kind of government. Romania, by the end of this year, is going to have their own locally produced vaccine. The vaccine they are sending to Nigeria has 65% efficacy. 65%. So that vaccine, you go collect the vaccine, you must still wear a mask. Does that make sense? They have banned Bitcoin. Today, I still checked Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 25 million naira for one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin, 25 million naira. Something that was 1 cent in 2009. Today, it is 25 million naira for one. 50,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin. Now, I notice that ignorance is so dangerous. And when I'm talking about ignorance being dangerous, not only with regards to the Bible or science, or sometimes people don't understand things and then they make uninformed decisions. I'll give you an example. Earlier on today, I saw a video of a plane shaking and people were saying, take us back, take us back. And I was like, from this thing I'm seeing, this is mild to moderate turbulence. This is not even extreme turbulence. This is not serious. Serious turbulence, you'll be injured. You'll really be injured. And then I had a conversation with one of the air hostesses who was on that particular flight, said it happened 4 years ago, and that a 1 hour flight took 2 hours, 30 minutes to Abuja. And I said, let me make a guess. You guys couldn't land because the weather was bad. So you were in a holding pattern. And he said, yes, something like that, apparently the pilot didn't want to take any risks. So he just waited for the weather to clear. Now, you in a plane that is shaking for 2 hours, 30 minutes, if you're ignorant, you begin to panic. Now, here's the thing. If I were in the cabin, I probably would panic too. But if I asked the pilot what was going on, that is why I always tell pilots, announce, let your people know we are going through a patch of bad weather. we're having clear air turbulence. Announce. When you announce, those of your people who are in your aeroplane who have sense, who have understanding, would be able to make sense of what you're saying. I saw another video of a guy buying, somewhere in Africa, there was a guy with a cage of birds, and this guy was buying birds. As he was collecting each bird, he was releasing the bird to fly away. He would release the bird. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, he's doing something good. That's ignorance. Do you know that somebody just released a gray squirrel in the UK? Today, the gray squirrel has become a pest. They carry diseases, and they have almost exterminated the local population of red squirrels, which are indigenous to the UK, simply because somebody said, oh, this is a squirrel in a cage, let me release it. The cane toad is a national pest in Australia. There are so many animals that people have decided to set free without knowing the consequences. One of the most dangerous invasive species is a particular fish known as the snakehead. Snakeheads have wiped away many of the local fish, population of fish. And somebody just decided one day that, oh, instead of keeping this fish in the cage, let me just release it into the river. I'll tell you a story. Some guys saw them fishermen bring lobsters and shrimp and all that stuff to shore. And they said, no. This is wicked. Release them back into the wild. They were fined $15,000. Do you know why? Because those lobsters and crabs were brought from another part of the ocean. Releasing them there stands the chance of disrupting the ecosystem in that particular region. So you need to, in 2021, the greatest gift you need to do for yourself is start getting knowledge. Not just about the Bible, about life in general. That aeroplane you want to go and enter, do you understand it? If it starts to shake now, instead of weeing on yourself, why don't you get some understanding and know what's happening in this thing that is making it shake? You're driving a car. Many of you don't even know what happens that makes that car move. You're just driving it. Anytime it breaks down, whatever the mechanic tells you. That is how somebody came to tell me that his father died of cervical cancer. This is how I was looking at him. He's mourning his dad. I don't know how to tell him that it is impossible for a man to die of cervical cancer. Because a man doesn't have a cervix. The guy told me that his father died of cervical cancer. No, you guys don't understand this. You are laughing. I'm telling you, I'm looking at the guy like this. I said, you say what? He says cervical cancer. Someone is saying, did he mean prostate? Prostate sounds like prostate. Does it sound like cervical? Prostate. They are not close. I'm not joking. His father died of cervical cancer. And I didn't know how to break his heart and tell him, Baba, I don't know whether now you gawk yourself or they gawk you. But the guy was crying. He was weeping. It wasn't a joke. His father died of cervical cancer. So you will not be like this man. Please get knowledge. Let's leave preaching about scriptures. When you don't have knowledge, they will just dribble you. They will dribble you and you give them money. They will dribble you. But aside that, in life too, if they dribble you in church and collect your money weekly, must they dribble you in life too? Just so that your own father will not die of cervical cancer. Wake up. Wake up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget, I'll be live by 10 p.m. We'll be talking about relationships today and what women look for in men. Is it beauty or is it brains? We're going to be talking about this at 10 o'clock tonight. Let me move it to 11 so that I'll be sure 100% so we don't miss it. Take care. God bless. You know I love you.